Well, Kyle,
Yes, Garrett.
it happened again.
New game.
If I had a nickel every time I thought I wouldn't like a game and then you wouldn't shut up until I played the game and then I finally played the game and ended up liking the game, I would have 2 nickels, which you know the rest.
Yeah, we know the rest of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard this story before.
Yeah. You've played a bit of Rise.
I played about 16 hours of Rise. Very poorly, I might add.
I played roughly 4 hours of Monster Hunter World, 3 hours of which was trying to get the co-op to work, complaining about the co-op, killing a giant iguana, and then never playing the game again because I thought the co-op was so bad.
Because it is. But it gets better in terms of pure...
It's fine now.
Yeah,
It's fine now.
It's perspective.
Just this week, at the time of recording this, we have put about 20 hours into Monster Hunter World.
All right, are we doing this? Oh, wait, what am I doing? How did I do this?
You mounted the bird. It is my first legitimate Monster Hunter experience. And now that I know how the admittedly janky co-op works, which when I'm saying janky, I just mean the grouping up when you're trying to go through like the main story quests. The game does not make it easy. You gotta like both go and scout your monster, see the monster cutscene, sometimes multiple monster cutscenes, and then you can come back and group up.
Why
with the long sword?
Why? How? Why? I don't know anything. I'm amazing.
After that, it's fine. When you're actually like in the world doing hunt together, that shit all pops off really well. And anyway, this is a series that I think is like impossible to explain to anybody. Like I don't know how to explain to anybody what Monster Hunter is because it's kind of its own thing. Other than saying it's a third-person action, like what, cool. These days that means everyone's gonna slap a Souls-like label on it, which it isn't. But some of it reminds me of it a little bit.
Do you dodge things? Yes. Do you fight really big bosses?
Also yes.
Yes. Is there a lock-on? Do you use it?
Probably not.
Probably not. There's 2 games here, but to start with, it all seems disjointed and overwhelming.
It reminds me of Guild Wars 1 and Diablo, where I'm going to like a hub to prep, plan, buy, sell, manage my equipment, and also party up.
And when you first start, all that preparation feels like bloat. Feels useless. I think of God of War 2018. I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. Why do I need all this? You go on your first hunt. You don't need all of that. But by the time of like your 5th hunt, when the amount of prep, 30 minutes, is equal to the amount you're on a mission, 30 minutes, it feels so good. And suddenly you're like, oh my God, I got all those Jagras fangs. Now I can go back and I can go build that thing I really want. Oh, I built the thing I really want, but now there's a new thing I really want. Let me plan, let me execute, let me figure out what order of menus I want to engage. New 40-minute mission, fight the damn butterfly ice dragon. And even when it comes to setting up the co-op, which feels like it takes too long, feels it should be better, it doesn't matter anymore because you're on a 40-minute mission together, having a wonderful time that feeds back, and it creates that gaming feedback loop that feels so good and is so rewarding. There's the cheesy phrase, the emergent gameplay.
Yeah, but I did have a moment yesterday where I shouted exactly that because we got a turf war between the Rathian and a Diablos that
brand new.
Some we haven't even met. This terrifying horned dragon-looking thing came out of nowhere, burrowed under the ground, and beat the shit out of the Rathian that we were hunting.
Flushed him down the desert toilet.
Yeah, and I just frankly have never experienced anything like that in a game. Quick plug, we're streaming the shit out of Monster Hunter right now. World at the moment, Wilds in the future, and we do it right here on YouTube. We are on Twitch, but we primarily are YouTube streamers, so subscribe to the channel. We stream right here. So if you find new players playing Monster Hunter horribly amusing
with co-op,
or watching bad Monster Hunter players make you feel better about your gameplay
with co-op,
or you just like reliving Monster Hunter through new eyes with co-op, subscribe and come watch our live stream. But we're here to talk about what it's like for 2 complete idiots to try and fathom Monster Hunter for the first time really in their life. And we did it by watching weapon guides from a good friend of ours. And oh dear God. Fuck, was it an experience. Yeah. Joe, I didn't learn a damn thing from your Monster Hunter weapon guides. They seem purely like comedy for those in the know.
Well, in the know, and that's what I learned.
And you're gonna stand your ground like the Great Wall of China, mostly ineffective but too much of a visual marvel to be torn down. And lastly, there's one more move in the Greatsword.
This is so on point for my preconceived opinion of this weapon. My preconceived opinion of this weapon is that it is awesome. It is everything you want visually, and it is slower than dirt, and is going to be horribly frustrating and disappointing to use. I don't think I more quickly noped out of a single weapon in this entire experience of watching a Jocat guide and then going and trying the weapon.
I like the block.
It's cool. You brace the back of the blade.
It's handsome.
I love bracing the back of the blade. That's a good thing.
But not for me. Not.
Yeah, I kind of want to go try it now. Now that we're like 20 plus hours in, I'm like, oh, okay. Now I kind of want to try it. But at the time, no. I would just, if you're new to Monster, I would just say ignore it. Just don't even, if you're like me and you only have so much patience for trying a bunch of things before you can actually go and play the game, just keep this one off the list. Don't do it.
This is a weeb weapon, perfect for anyone who unironically likes Sword Art Online and wants to anime it up. The most anime move being the Helmbreaker, where you launch yourself up the monster, slashing down and causing residual explosion.
That looks sick. How do I helm break?
This is gonna probably be my next weapon.
It's long. There's a long sword.
I really like the longsword. Aesthetically, I'm a Dark Knight in Final Fantasy XIV. I like big swords, and in that game specifically, my favorite sword glam is a very, very long katana. There's an actual name for that. I always forget it. Doesn't matter. I ain't that big of a weeb. Not wearing an anime shirt right now. I own a few. Yeah, I really like the longsword. It's what I originally wanted to play, and after trying every weapon except for the bow and then the bow guns, it's what I ended up sticking with first. I'm not using it right now, but I do quite like it, and it'll probably be my secondary weapon.
But be careful though, because in this mode you start to lose stamina rapidly, and if you use it too liberally, you'll last about as long as a nerdy college virgin. Attacks in this mode fill up a...
Okay, how do there we go. Alright, demon mode. Demon
I love these. They're so handsome. They're so beautiful. Because I don't like daggers. I'm not a rogue, but in Monster Hunter, a dagger's the size of a small bus.
I love knife fights in movies. No one makes them satisfying in video games.
Well, there's no feedback, right?
Yeah.
And when you have a big weapon and you're chunking, there's usually some stagger, there's a little bit of interactivity. When you're just running in and going, wow, as hard as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not it. There are some really handsome, like, fist weapon versions of this particular item set.
Oh, that's a shame. I hate fist weapons.
I like a good
they're
fist weapon.
I think they're super goofy, and I'm not into them. But I did like the twin blades. Yeah, I could see myself playing this at some point down the road.
The archdemon thing. That's cool.
Attacking fast is pretty novel in Monster Hunter.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Most weapons don't do that.
No, they don't.
Yes, this thing sacrifices elegance for power, kind of like a male porn star. Capcom was able to perfectly simulate what a weapon with this map...
Questions about the logic. You know a lot about me, Kyle.
You're not a hammer man.
I hate hammers. Aesthetically, I find them very displeasing.
I like hammers.
I'm surprised how much I kind of like this hammer.
It's a big hammer.
It is a big hammer. It's way faster than it looks like it should be.
The spin charge up looks very nice.
All the jumping, spinning attacks. Probably a little too goofy aesthetically for me, but It does make me think of Monster Hunter, and if, like, you picked it up, for example, I'd be so stoked to just see you flying off cliffs doing front cartwheels, beating the shit out of monsters. I'd be really into that.
And stunning, like we're in a party, we're co-oping, so having stun would be good.
Yeah, it's a sleeper for me. I always just assume I will hate all hammers, but I kind of like this one.
Now you know how to use the hunting horn. You're welcome.
Okay. What the hell?
This is the most overwhelming thing I've looked at so far. No.
Hunting horn.
No.
I like buff jobs. I like giving buffs.
I like them as a spell, and I like bards. This is none of that. This is the opposite of like the thing I need attached to enjoy buffs and the thing I need attached to enjoy bards. This is buffing without the spells, and this is barding without the roleplay. This is the single stupidest weapon I've ever seen in a video game.
I agree with you. It's the kick. The kick just checks me out. There's a point you do a slam, and then your move is you kind of like bunt it up into them. The spin is nice, and I could absolutely be one out being pushed into it in like a 4-man party. If everyone basically tells me, these buffs are too good, we need someone, I'll jump on that grenade. I would do it for the group.
I would do it for a sub-goal.
Like and subscribe.
The unanimously agreed upon objectively best move in the Lance's arsenal is the dash attack. By pressing both attack buttons while blocking, you start rolling around at the speed of sound. Forget trotting around the arena like a peasant while wielding this oversized spear. It's time to travel in style. And to top it all off, it's the perfect way to rack up damage on that monster that's desperately reaching for its life alert. Your job is to get into the thick of things.
Wait,
with
how
your
do I
comically
keep running?
massive
Yeah,
lance thrust.
yeah. How does he? Okay, so he said both buttons.
I start to do it, but then I immediately stop. Wood.
Lance, yes, I would.
It's so big.
I know.
And it's like motorized.
Yeah. To me, I saw it, and I just knew that I shouldn't do it. It's bad habit town. Because I'm not going to learn anything about this game, but charging back and forth, taking a break, sharpening, eating, back and forth, and like the charge is too damn fun. And I don't want to do any other part of it.
If that's the way to do it.
Look like a blast.
I don't like jousting lances. Like, I find them silly. It's not a weapon design that aesthetically I'm into. And this one I think is just if this was a spear or a pole arm, I'd be all about it. I love pole arms, especially when combined with a shield. It's very similar to the hammer in how I thought I was going to feel about it, and then when I actually went and tested it out, how I really feel about it, which is I like this. I like this a lot. This is probably third place for me in overall interest.
I don't want a shield to start with. I don't want to learn that version of the game right now. Same
like
with
shields.
range. I just don't want to. I want to be intimate. I want to be in there smacking its jellies.
You sacrifice the flexibility of a super block, a reliable counter, and a dash attack for the ability to make low-effort innuendos. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Rathian. I promise this doesn't usually happen. And now you know how to use the gunlance. You're welcome.
I mean, see, like, I really like that dodge. Let me. Yeah. So did he move on a grid? How did he do that? Was he using, well, the back step's nice. Why do I occasionally shoot green lasers into the air?
Both lances, I'm surprised I like. And it's like regular lance or this.
I'm getting better at not doing the pitfalls to enjoy the goods. Gunlance, I saw heating elements, I saw ammo things, and I just didn't want any part of that during my learning phase. I don't want to manage ammo right now. And it's cool. Does it use ammo? Like ammo?
This thing, yeah, like it's got a kind of Gundam aesthetic I wasn't expecting to find in Monster Hunter. Like, it's slow enough moving and lands with enough weight that it reminds me of my favorite Gundam combat, which is not the ones where they're like super fast and shit. I like the heavier, like 08th MS team. Gundam Wing even has it a little bit. The popular Gundams in the West tend to be a little more heavier moving. I love heavy arms.
That's what I want. I want queens.
Yes.
And then I want to watch some gears spin for like a shot as it goes in.
Mm-hmm. Pacific
connects.
Rim.
Well, and your brain adapts to Monster Hunter weapon size very quickly. Because first reaction, this is stupid, this is ridiculous, what am I looking at? But then you've already seen a hammer. You've already seen the lance. And so by the time you got to gun lance, your brain just goes, yeah, that's how big a gun is if I put a sword on it.
If it weren't for the fact that the longsword was training wheels on training wheels and the sword and shield is the only obvious choice, the switch axe is perfect for anyone who's absolutely garbage at Monster Hunter, i.e. most of you. In battle, you'll be going back and forth between modes like some douchebag making jerk-ass comments and backpedaling depending on if he's criticized or not. But forget all that.
Switch axe. Woo woo. I went with this one. This is mine.
This is your weapon
It's good.
so far.
It's nice.
See if you stick with it.
It's got form. It's got the mounting thing. The mounting thing is so cool.
It looks like a buster sword more often than it looks like an axe, which is a massive all the points from me because I'm a sword man. I don't particularly care for axes.
And anytime you're doing the really cool stuff, it's with the sword.
Yeah, it looks like a sword most of the time. Looks like a buster sword most of the time.
And I love God of War. I love Shadow of the Colossus. I love being up on the models, and it's just so well done. It's so intimate. The way you get to boom, and then you land into the slide. Oh, it's so good. Oh, and I don't get sick of it. Like, I see those 4s and 1s flying off them during the initial climb stabbing part, and I just don't care because I know I'm about to do something good. It'll be worth it.
I look forward to you getting sick of it because I want to play it.
Oh.
I almost went with this, and then the second you started like foaming at the mouth over it, I made a mental note.
You give space.
Just let him have it. Let him have it. But this was almost what I went with.
And because I'm such an expert, I'm going into deep detail about all the charge blades ins and outs, so I hope you're paying close attention because I'm not slowing down for you. Are you ready? Too bad, here we go. You primarily charge your blade by holding the right face button. Other attacks comboed out of it can charge the files as well, just not nearly as much. So it's best to primarily use the charge up slash while littering in other attacks to keep a healthy onslaught to the monster. Just remember to keep an eye on them, because if you're bouncing, you aren't loading your files, and if you aren't loading quickly,
All right, so this is the weapon I went in expecting to pick.
I like charging things.
I've always been obsessed with the idea of combining a sword and a shield to make a weapon. As a beginner, this loop feels too rigid and kind of boring to me.
I like the range on it. That seems very useful because it does get really long. There's a brief moment where the shield is in the sword that I do not like.
I like that part.
I don't think it looks
That's
cool
very
like
cool.
that.
That's the cool part. Getting there, it feels like I would just be doing the same thing too many times to feel effective. Yeah, this is when I was surprised that I bounced off of as quickly as I did.
You charge the blade. Charge blade.
You also charge the shield?
You charge the shield. So charge shield?
The shield attaches to the blade to make a bigger blade?
Shield blade?
It should be called Connect Blade.
Yeah.
Or Build Blade.
Build the blade.
Lego Blade.
If you're able to gather all 3 essence, you'll unlock the ability to Super Spin! And if you're not a monster hunting pro like me and have trouble gathering the 3 different colored essence, you can press the right trigger while aiming to fire mustard at the monster. And every hunter knows bitches love mustard.
I love 50% of this weapon.
You know, that's a really positive way to put it. I like that.
This is absolutely glass half full, glass half empty style weapon. Marking with like the bug, everything doing with like the...
Oh, I like the scarab.
Everything that has to do with the bug, I hate. Everything that has to do with the glaive, I think is pretty cool. All the air combat, all the aerobatics of this weapon is really sweet. And if that's all it was, I'd be really into it. The insect side of things, it does nothing for me.
I think it's cool. I can see in a play exchange in my head that might be enjoyable someday. As a beginner, if you say it's got a head, a body, and a tail, and you got to hit all 3 before you can do anything, I'd go, well, why? Why would I care? But now I'm climbing up and booging its face. I'm like, the face is different than the tail. I was expecting more like a staff that had insects living in it, like a beehive, and you'd smack them and then the bees would do dot damage or something. Jocat was talking about like shooting mustard, so you have like occasional range like filler you could do. It seems like a really versatile weapon if you had the game knowledge to take advantage of it, which I don't. So for now, hell no.
As a new player, bounced off this pretty much immediately. And bowguns don't count because we just don't want to be ranged right now, even if it's mid-range.
If this is the range section, it's not what we want to do. I want to be up on the monster. I want to be in the monster.
We want melee weapons.
And the first time I tried the game, I did bow, and I found myself just kind of feeling disconnected.
To me, it's like, it's not the selling point of Monster Hunter.
You got 3 friends. They're like, hey, let's play Monster Hunter together. I've never played. And you're like, cool. I'm going to take a step back. I'll be on bow. doing serious like headshot super damage all the time. You all be complete fools and slap each other with longswords, so I don't have to be frustrated with your lack of game knowledge. I'll kill the monster myself. Everyone has a good time. They feel like they killed it. I know, I actually killed it. It's a win-win.
It does everything every other weapon can do 50 times better, and then some. And I do mean everything! It's got a charge up to hit the weak point for massive damage. Stunning the monster, bang bang, sit the fuck down! Rapid combos in fucking spades! Aerial attacks mounting, get that stupid cockroach toothpick shit out of here. Go con nas! Blocking ability, indestructible! And don't even get me started on elemental damage. Better start collecting swords of all the elements, cause you're gonna be exploiting the ever-living fuck out of those weaknesses.
Oh shit, I'm super into that. All right, sweet. Time for the best weapon in the game.
It's got class. It's moderately sized.
I mean, most weapons are moderately sized in this game.
Conservatively.
By Monster Hunter standards, this weapon is tiny.
It's really small.
It's quite small. It's a small shield. That's probably my biggest aesthetic complaint about sword and shield. Swords look great. Except for I just got my best weapon so far. I hate how it looks. It's the Princess Rapier. I thought I might end up on this. I did end up on this.
Jocat sold it big.
Yeah, it's not Jocat's fault though. You know, because he sells it all about all like using items at the same time and all that. When you're a new player, I'm like, I couldn't even fathom items. I am now using items. I chose it just because it seems versatile. Like hearing, oh, you get the deal slash and blunt damage. I'm like, that's cool.
That does sound nice.
That's really cool and seems, frankly, wholly unique to this. Does anything else do that? I don't think anything else does that. 9 times out of 10, I'm not blocking to block. I'm blocking to cheat into a backstep to charge my attack.
That is cool. And I did see you yesterday block a big attack with a cool little backslide.
But yeah, there's so much freaking nuance to this weapon that I really like it. Every guy I looked at was like, hey, it's a great beginner weapon, but there's so much ceiling if you want to get good.
That's how it should be.
And I agree with them. I agree with them now because I like just didn't with one night of like 1 hour of like, I'm going to actually just watch a normal ass guide for Sword and Shield. And yeah, Joe, you're right. This weapon absolutely slaps. I don't know enough about oils. I don't even know what oils are. I don't know why you're so mad about oils, Joe. But I look forward to the point where my knowledge of oils ruins this weapon for me.
Congratulations.
Maybe I can oil in wilds. Does wilds bring oil?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we get to wilds.
Huh. Can't just say MHW.